Hello and welcome all, as usual, to the aftermarket analysis session. This is an aftermarket analysis session. Here, we look at where buyers and sellers were observed in Nifty and Bank Nifty after the Indian market closed, and we try to read the footprint well. If you are new and want to learn order flow or want to learn how to use GoCharting effectively, you can join this live session every evening at 5 p.m. or even at 4:30 p.m. or 5 p.m. The link for this session is uploaded on GoCharting's YouTube, Discord, and Telegram community before 5 p.m. And if you have GoCharting open, we also upload the webinar link in the notifications here, so you can join from here as well. Secondly, if for any reason you are unable to attend the live lecture, you can watch the recording of this session on GoCharting's YouTube channel. The GoCharting YouTube channel is now available in almost every language. Gradually, it is available in English, Hindi, French, Finnish, and Arabic. You will find the links to all the channels in the description. And GoCharting is also offering a 30% discount right now. This holy offer is available on all annual subscriptions and will last until the 7th. So if you want to switch to NV, you can subscribe and get a 30% discount. Now let's look at Nifty to see where the footprint of Nifty showed us buyers and where we saw sellers. Okay, so before that, let's check the confirmation from the volume profile to see what kind of confirmation it provided us. For today's session, this was yesterday's volume profile. And this was its volume node and weak point, which could have acted as a resistance. The second zone was where Nifty was stuck for quite a few days. When it broke upwards, there were two rejections. When it broke downwards, there were two sharp rejections. Finally, in a gap-up opening, it broke out of this entire range and gave a bullish movement. Even today, it stayed above yesterday's resistance zone and volume node. Nifty gave a breakout upwards, so there are chances of a bullish movement. These were some levels of the volume profiles. And this was a level that we marked. This white line was marked because there was consolidation here for several days, and it was the value area high. This is how we simply read the footprint and see what happened and where. For today's footprint, we go to the 5-minute time frame. The tick size for Nifty here is 180, and for Bank Nifty, you can set it above 400, or you can also adjust it according to your preference by setting it to auto. Okay. Before reading the footprint properly, we should know what delta is, because we read the footprint with the help of delta. Now, what is this delta? Delta is simply the difference between buyers and sellers. The information it provides us is what we call delta. For example, if we take the first candle, what is the delta of this candle? The value of the topmost line is around 29. Around 29,000 in the green box. There is no negative sign in front of 29, so it means a positive delta. Okay, what does a positive delta mean? A positive delta always indicates buyers. It notes the buyers. So it means that the positive delta of this candle is 29,000. And it is noting the buyers. So simply, there are 29,000 more buyers in this candle compared to sellers. Let's look at the next candle. It has a very large negative delta, around 114,000. A negative delta of this candle always denotes sellers. So the negative delta of this candle is 1, with a negative sign in front of this value, and the red box above, which is quite easy to read. So within this candle, there are 114,000 more sellers. Okay, this delta tells us the essence of each candle, Like in this candle, there are more buyers. In this candle, there are more sellers. Again, in this candle, more buyers. Again, more sellers. Again, more sellers. Again, more buyers. Just by looking at the delta, there are some candles whose delta is very low. Now, I am considering both buyers and sellers. Like, look at this. 7,000 and 8,000. 3,000 and 9,000. Okay, some candles have over 100,000, around 30,000, around 42,000. So, the candles with a very high delta, like this candle, okay, within those candles, there has been more buying or more selling. And where there is more buying and more selling, we see some significant buying or selling. And those are the candles responsible for moving the market because the market is moved by big money. And these are the candles where very little buying and very little selling occurred. So if we compare, meaning if we compare these two, the better option is to read the candles with heavy delta. These are the candles where very little buying and selling occurred, and they do not clarify the direction as much as those that can clarify the direction. Okay, so what we will do here is read those candles of Nifty whose delta is above 25,000 to 30,000, whether on the negative side or the positive side. And for those candles whose delta is below 25,000 to 30,000, understand that there has been very little buying or selling. Okay, they won't be able to clarify the direction as much. Like the first candle. In the first candle, there is always a lot of buying and selling. In the first candle, there is always a lot of buying and selling. So always be careful when reading the first candle. In the first candle, it is also possible to see very large buying. And then the market went down, and we saw a lot of selling. Right, then the opposite happened. So either skip the first candle, or trade very cautiously. In the first candle, there is buying of 30,000, but we didn't see such a large volume today in the first candle. However, in the second candle, we saw a very large volume, around 100,000. Now, what is the delta around 100,000? It means it's within this candle. In the second candle, there are 100,000 more sellers as compared. So, which side? Is the buyer's side? Which side? Is the buyer's side here? This multiplication sign in the middle separates both. Okay, so who are more? The sellers? We looked at the delta to see what the essence of this entire candle is. Inside this candle, which side is the seller's side? This one, so there are more sellers. So if you only read the seller's side, it will be beneficial because the powerful side inside this candle is the seller's. So if you quickly read the seller's side, so one thing we can see is that there is selling at 42K, which is the highest here with 25K, 23K, 25K, and even 135K of selling happening. But this selling at 42K, there is even more selling around it. 25, 25, 25 means this is the zone where the most selling happened. Today, we mark this zone. And what we did was identify it using delta to see which candle had more buying or selling. And then we observed the second candle. There was a significant amount of selling in the delta, indicating that this is the particular selling zone where the most selling occurred. And we mark that selling zone. Now, in the next candle, we see neither buying activity nor selling. Again, it's neutral, and we observed selling around 30K. And look, this is the zone where the most selling occurred around 42K. Okay, it was a selling zone. The next candle broke the selling zone on the upside, so that's one indication that this selling might be absorbed. Okay. But it couldn't sustain much on the upside either. Look, it returned to the same selling zone. There was another selling in the same selling zone. Again. And again, the selling activity stopped. In this candle, there was one more selling activity. In the next few candles, it stopped again. We are seeing a delta around 30. Try to read those same candles. Now look. This is that 123 to 456. This was the candle that held above the selling zone. Easily. So, in these candles, there was some buying observed around this area, inside this candle. Okay, so this was that candle. Sorry, inside this candle, there was buying at 40K, selling happened. It was absorbed. The next candle gave a slight confirmation, and again selling occurred. Here, these candles again gave confirmation, and a buying activity took place. The first selling absorption, the second selling absorption by the buyer center held the same zone where the selling activity was absorbed, and there was a significant buying activity in the upward movement. Okay, it came back on the pullback again. Multiple times, there was a pullback here where the selling of the first candle was absorbed, and there was a buying movement in the upside, which did not provide much support, because after this buying, the price did not hold. So, we can say that the selling was confirmed. Aggressive buyers entered, and we saw another significant buying here. So far, what we noticed was that the selling that happened, the largest selling order was at a particular spot, around 42, within the second candle, and I think the fourth or fifth candle. Here, at 56, the bank delta is neutral, neither leaning towards the buyer side nor the seller side. We observed these two candles with quite heavy delta, indicating buying at 56. There were two instances of buying at 56, particularly. These two buying activities are marked. What happened now is that this buying activity occurred, and after that, the price went down, and we also observed one selling. There wasn't any solid selling, meaning no particular point emerged where solid selling occurred, but selling happened multiple times by small sellers. These sellers confirmed that this place was where the buying was absorbed. We observed one instance of buying absorption. Again, it came on a pullback. No one is interested in listening to any wire, and from here. It took one rejection. Sir, it took one rejection and closed right here. So, if we look at today's overview of Nifty, no major movement was observed. Throughout the day, Nifty was sideways. Okay, it remained roughly between 900 and 980. Today's range was just within 80 points. And what did we observe? Within these 80 points, this is the place where selling was absorbed. Buyers entered. Again, buyers entered, and here pullbacks occurred, where selling had been absorbed. This is the place where buying activity took place, and buying absorption occurred. These candles confirmed that, and a pullback occurred. This was a quick overview of Nifty. Now let's look at Bank Nifty to see what we observed, and where within Bank Nifty. Bank Nifty was very good. Today, within Bank Nifty, a delta above 15 to 20 will be very favorable. The first candle, which was around a delta of 15 to 20, saw heavy transactions. There were two sellings of 11K each, and multiple times selling occurred within this candle at the same place. Here too, selling happened at the same place. This selling zone was indeed clearly marked, and the price held above it, which means that selling absorption also occurred here as well. This means that in the initial ranges, more selling was observed, and both instances of selling were absorbed. When the price started holding on the upside, significant buying activity occurred, meaning the delta we got was on the buying side. This was the candle where the largest buying activity was observed, on the 26th. Again, forgive this buying activity. And throughout the day, Bank Nifty also. This was the buying activity that provided support. A pullback occurred, held well, and again a pullback happened. If we look at Bank Nifty today, it was almost completely sideways after 10 o'clock. But even in this sideways movement, what confirmation did we have? Selling absorption was happening, but it easily held on the upside. If some buyers enter and positive data starts coming in, understand that the selling absorption and buying absorption have been completed somewhere. Aggressive buyers entered. In this selling absorption, aggressive buyers entered at higher value. So we mark this as support, and the next few candles provided confirmation. This candle confirmed that yes, this zone, in some way, can hold the buying activity, as buyers are present here. It held well. There were pullbacks, and the movement was sideways, almost marking both sides. But even in this sideways movement, the order flow gave us some solid confirmation. So if you want to use this tool, Footprint Order Flow, GoCharting is offering a 30% discount. There is no coupon code for the yearly subscription, and it will automatically show you the discount. It's available until the 7th, and you can buy it anytime until the 7th. Now I will stop the recording and take questions from you all.